the book had a fantastic emotional core. That came through in the script, that came through in the book, that came in through the characters that people were obsessed about online. And those characters are real, which was why it really was something I gravitated to. I just felt that it was time. It was just, I'd explored plenty in animation. I wanted to do something different to learn. I think that it's an amazing thing to see young people sort of stop existing underneath the power of others and finding the power within themselves. I love seeing that sort of reckless abandon of people who may not have spent 20 years ossifying in something in a system and actually seeing things that are wrong and trying to step forward and changing it. And these are people who have no power. I mean, these are kids in this movie. They don't necessarily have any leverage in any way. But to see their positivity, them finding things of value in their lives, finding what is important to them, protecting each other, standing up for each other, and ultimately finding that sense of self-value in themselves and also in their sense of community is something that is really beautiful and admirable to see. And I think people seeing that hopefully will make them feel like they can do that too. It's accessible. Her journey is going from seeing the danger of what she can do to seeing the benefit of what she can do and what she could use that for to help others. Liam is basically the quote leader of the group of kids in the van. He's the one that rescued them out of an internment camp. He's the one that's helped them survive, brought them together. And he, when he sees Ruby for the first time, sees someone that he wants to protect. And of course, the interesting path of the story is ultimately he doesn't have to protect her, she has to protect him. But his main goal is to keep this group of kids together, to sort of do what's best for them. He's a very nurturing, very positive, very protective character. And but he also respects her, so which is really great. He's super, super intelligent. He's the one that actually can see through everyone else's, lies and deceits and everything. He's the one that figures out the plans. He's a smart guy in the room. But he's also because he's so smart, he's also very suspicious, and he's the one that starts off the most suspicious of Ruby. He knows that she's hiding something. And his big goal is to make sure that this doesn't threaten his family, which is Mia playing Zoo and Liam. Zoo she is the littlest and basically the baby sister of all the kids in the van. She's the one that they take turns making sure someone's got her hand when they're going somewhere, and they take care of her. She's got the entire van decorated with all sorts of toys and dolls and cat drawings and stuff like that. She's incredibly cute, but in a real way. And but she also is incredibly dangerous because she has the ability to short out all sorts of electricity. What I really love about Ruby is she goes from that arc of being really scared and unsure in the beginning, very lacking in confidence, and I completely understand that. I'm sure everyone can, and going to being this strong female character that will stand there and say, I am going to protect you. I'm the one that's able to value what I can do, and I'm going to use it to protect us. And being that strong character and seeing that change over her is the part of it that I think not only is what we want to be, but also something we understand where she starts. In moments where they're actually working, you can see they care about each other as actors to help each other. Like, if one actor needs to get to a certain place, you can see the other actor helping them. It's not like, oh, the camera's not on me, I don't care. No, they really, really want to see each other's best performance. So not only were they great professionals, but they're just great people together. She is the one that's finally come into accepting all that she is capable of doing. She has found her place in the world. She's found what she can do to make it better. She's found a way to protect her family. I think that's the big thing. Working with Amanda was amazing, actually, because you can just see when we're speaking about stuff, you can see her sort of processing it, and then she changes, and then you see it just come out in the performance. It's just so beautiful. Way back when I was chatting with Alexandra Bracken about her book and her characters and visualizing it for a film, one thing that was very important to her that she said many things. She said, I understand that movies are different from books and blah, but the thing that you really cannot do is take out diversity. You can put more in, but don't take out diversity. That was something she purposefully went for when she wrote the book. So I wanted to make sure that we were true to that, and we had characters that reflected who they were in the book. The one character that she didn't specify specifically in the book was Ruby. And in the case of Amanda, she was just so perfect as a soul for Ruby she had to be Ruby. But everyone else we wanted to make sure was as they were described. Skyland, I think, it was the most randomly organic in his approach. And you sort of watch him sort of think about it and then do it, and all of a sudden, bam, it's there. And he's just very, very deadpan funny with his moments. They're not jokes for joke's sakes. They're all character-based humor. And it's also because he's very observant, because he's so smart as that character. But Skyland himself is also super, super smart and very observant. You can just see him sort of figuring stuff out, watching it. So it was beautiful to watch him work. This was a passion project for her. Not only was it a very personal story in that she was very young when she wrote the book, and she was barely older than the actors playing the roles, when she wrote this book. And you can hear that voice coming through in the book. It's a very emotionally real told story. And so I wanted to make sure it didn't wander off into the weeds about it. It wanted to make sure that it was at least true to the spirit of what these characters were and what they were going through. And that sort of reality, that sort of genuineness was something that was very important to me. And besides, I'm not the kind of egotistical maniac that's going to say, mine. I like working with people. I love collaborating with people. And in her case, she's an amazingly talented writer, and why not? She's made something amazing, so of course you need to involve her. Gwendolyn, not only is she one of the sweetest people alive in real life, she's so sweet, but she exudes power and confidence and presence. And so we just managed to sort of meet and say, hey, would you like to do this? And she was super cool about it, and it worked out. It's amazing when it works out. Betty was basically their oasis. Everything before that, even if it looked nice, like the Ruby's childhood home and stuff, it's not home anymore. Everything was basically something she was kicked out of and turned in, or it's all threatening in some ways. And the van and the environment around the van and the freedom the van represents for these kids to be wandering together with the control over their own destiny, that is their oasis. That is the personification of their safety. So it had to look like a lived-in place that you'd want to live in. If you surmount over great odds and conquer the situation, that is something that's aspirational. That's something that we all wished we could do, and we can do. And that's the big driving sort of tone of it. Yes, things are difficult. Yes, there's many forces arrayed against you. Yes, it's really, really, really sort of dire, some of the things that are happening. But you're stronger than that. You're more powerful than that. And you can actually make change. I think that positive message, that sense of sort of driving people forward rather than pounding them down, is a really important thing. And always has been. It certainly is now. And is extremely important for young people who are faced with that every day to sort of feel that sense of encouragement.
Hey guys, what did you think of that video? Now, stay with me as I have a pretty interesting behind-the-scenes fact for you. Now, a lot of work goes into the making of movies, and sometimes accident can happen during production. The largest number of fatalities ever in a production of a film occurred during the shooting of the 1931 film Viking, when a ship they were shooting from exploded in the ice off the coast of Newfoundland. 27 people died, including producer and co-director Varric Frissell, as well as collaborator A.G. Penrod. The incident is one of the most infamous in movie history, and the film was made in tribute to those who lost their lives. The opening cards describing the accident and the film are genuinely touching. On that sad note, I will leave you and remind you that we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. See you soon!